I'm not really spontaneous either.
So if I was like, hey, let's go skinny dip in the pool right now, you gonna jump in with me?
Okay, well, maybe I am a little spontaneous.
All right, then.
And then actually, no, I would not.
Oh, man.
I just like to be prepared when I can so I can show up as my best self.
You like to analyze stuff kind of person.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Woo, hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, we're talking to you guys about Lamar and his greatest mistake, that if you make it, you're going to be in trouble. All right, welcome to Little Blackbird, you know what time it is. Listen, we're back to singing in 2024, baby. Listen, we're talking to you about the greatest mistake Lamar will make. I'm telling you now, let me quickly just give you a summary. Spontaneous versus sexual is two different things. Right? Whenever people say, are you spontaneous? I'm expecting a spontaneous response. I'm expecting a spontaneous comment. I'm expecting a spontaneous example. But if you don't give me a spontaneous example, guess what's going to happen? You're going to do what Lamar did, which is that in that space, he ended up giving an example about skinny dipping, which ends up being a little bit naughty, a little bit sensual, a little bit sexual. And what that does in a dating arena like this, it doesn't bring the authenticity you're requiring, which I mean, when I say authenticity, what I should really say is, it doesn't bring about projecting that you want a relationship. We're going to talk about that in a second or two. And break it down a little bit further. So listen, if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. We like to educate and we like to entertain. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. Don't forget, we got a membership. We can join the family, support us as well. It's £1, $1. And we have our membership lives every other week. We're starting again next week when I'm back in UK, and also as well we have Discord and Patreon for those TV shows that you love watching. Go in there, you know, talk your talk and share your share. And also finally, also we have merchandise. We'd love for you guys to be joining in. Get your merch, join the Mineral Gang, be a part of the team. Okay? I wanna be somebody. I wanna go somewhere. I wanna wake up and pay attention. Yes. I don't know why I was singing that song, but it came to me. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. Lamar. The reason why I spoke about him. Let me just quickly break this down, and then I'm going to break down the body language and everything that you saw in that particular show. Here's my issue. If you're going to say you want to be spontaneous to somebody, if you're talking to somebody and you're looking to date them, right? You giving an example of spontaneous things to do would be like, if I say, let's, you know, go for a walk right now. If I say, let's just leave the country, take a plane somewhere. If I say, let's go and book a spa date next week and let's go. It's spontaneous things that involve oftentimes some activity. Okay, now there is obviously spontaneity in sex, but what I'm saying to you is leave that alone. Don't go down that lane. If you're just starting to date somebody or get to know them, leave the sexual aspects alone, because sex is not the be all and end all, and you never want the other party to feel like they're being used for sex or being set up for sex. If you're trying to promote a longevity and promote that you are fidelitous and you're promoting the fact that you want a relationship, then you promote things that are going to bring about a flourishing of health to a long-term relationship. So things that are, for instance, you're talking about activities, which is a quality time prospect. And, you know, you say, hey, look, I'm a kind of person that wants to get up this week, go out next week, go to here, do this, do that, do that. And you're not talking about sex. You're talking about things that are going to bond you together in a particular way that's non-sexual. Why you do this is, again, because you want another person to feel used, and also sexual talk can be uncomfortable when you guys have not built that type of communication or built that type of relationship. At this point, Lamar had not built that relationship with the ladies. And you know how we really know that? Because later on, the conversation also becomes about threesomes. Right? And it's not anything about relationships. They're not remembering about relationships. They remember about your conversation about these threesomes. You're coming across real freaky. Now, does that mean that he shouldn't do? If that's his authentic self, let him be his authentic self. And more than likely, you might find someone, and I say more than likely, you might likely find someone who may also enjoy that freaky deaky business, right? But the reality is you, again, narrow your options, and you're shooting too quickly, okay, without really asking the great questions to find out who is really somebody for you. Put your best foot forward by making sure that you are presenting that you are wanting a relationship. If you don't and you want sex, then by all means, give your example of spontaneity of how we can skinny dip, right? Put that as your example. Now, of course, skinny dipping isn't the worst example of sexual connotations or anything like that, but it's a leading conversation, which then ends up being that they now put a camera on him later on talking with Patricia about threesomes. Now they've captured your whole essence as threesomes. So now they capture your whole essence as being sexual rather than being somebody who's looking for a real relationship. How seriously will you be taken now in that space because you don't actually you don't actually sound like somebody who wants a real relationship. That's why you don't do it. Now, let's break it down a bit further in terms of what Lamar actually is. I think he had some great conversation with the ladies. He had both of them, hooked in their conversation. Let's have a look.
I see that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, the first date was at the new beach.
I don't think that would be
Yeah.
appropriate.
You don't think it'd be appropriate?
To be naked on the
On
first
the first
date.
date? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Now, of course, listen, he's not the only one that had a conversation like this. I mean, listen, Alonso had a conversation like this as well, right? Alonso had a conversation about what, 3 things to describe sex, right? But obviously, again, timing, context is also important. Do you have the buy-in is also important, right? And in this situation, we saw that, okay, it hit with one. Rashina was like, okay, cool. But then Vanessa was like, and I'm like, this. And then the fact that they catch you again later on having another conversation about threesomes tells me that they're trying to capture your character as being sexual. And so, look, in the body language, he's actually got the 2 ladies kind of in a good space here. They're really, they seem to be involved in the conversation, and the body language seems to be okay. Now, Vanessa's doing Vanessa stuff. Right, she's leaning away because she's been leaning away from everybody, except Chaz. Okay, so that's a given. But there was a little step where he went a little bit further. Listen to this a little bit. Let's have a listen.
for a man to have chosen that for me on our first date would mean he wasn't really in tune with me. Having this conversation with Lamar is slightly off-putting. I was pretty clear that no, that's not what we're into. So
See, now you've put someone off. And of course, Vanessa would put off by anything that's not part of her connection line. I can't lie to you. Vanessa's very specific. And so most people are going to be cut off anyway with Vanessa. But she's put off because in reality, what she was hearing when she calculates it is it's very sexual in nature. And it's not really about the person. And I always say this, do you like or do you love the person? If I like you, we're in the best position possible. Because I like everything about you, and then I'm gonna love you, right? It's a different space to be in. But if I don't like you, then I can't love you the way I need to love you. Do you get what I'm saying to you? If I need to like all aspects of, not I like all aspects, I need to like you so that when my love also comes in, it's not gonna be an empty shell. I think you need 2. And when I really say like, what I really mean is another aspect of love. It's just like you love the essence of that person, right? And you love everything about them. And then he goes on, obviously, again, to talk about something. Listen to this.
So it wasn't a romantic connection for me. It's a lot. It's like kind of overwhelming for me. I feel like, okay, it's
that.
new and
I
it's
like
now.
it. I want you to sweat.
I'm definitely open to.
Now, if you really were paying attention to what was actually going on, Rashina actually joined in with her and said, yeah, because after the thing you said, it's a lot. Look at Rashina again once more, and you'll realize actually Rashina's actually agreeing with our good sis as well, right? I'm just going to go slightly back. I want you to watch her body language a little bit so you can see it. But she actually ends up agreeing with Vanessa, and that's why I was saying that. Yeah, she may go along with it because maybe she's a little bit more. She's been aware. She needs to play the game. She needs to stay in. Rashina's not no fool. She wants to stay in. Now, of course, as well. Not only that, there is a buy-in. Rashina finds him attractive and thinks, he's got the Miami Vice look, the beard, the energy, rah rah rah. He's got a little bit of a buy-in already there, so it can work a little bit. But it will get tiring. It will get boring if that's all you got to really offer. Let's just go back here again. Watch the body language and listen again.
It's like kind of overwhelming for me. I feel like, okay, it's new and it's now.
I want you to sweat.
You see that? She said, listen, it's a little bit overwhelming for me. It's a bit much. And she's like, yeah. Rashina's there, yeah. Because she agrees. Why? Because, and the thing is, and here's the thing. Rashina will probably end up forgiving him for this comment. You know how I know that? Because she did the same thing with Chaz. When Chaz was saying that, he doesn't like makeup and eyelashes and all that kind of stuff that was too much for him. Not that he doesn't like makeup, but he doesn't like too much of the makeup. She was like, oh my God, but you know what? I like him. So do you know what? We're going to have to work on that. And I was like, okay, this is why Rashina has problems dating. And let me not even do Rashina right now because that's not her. It's not her video. We're going to do that. She has problems dating because she's willing to accept what she doesn't really want. Right? Like we all play fool. Don't go, sister. I myself, listen. I'm willing to, if I'm getting what I want, you know what I mean? Yeah, that don't mind little yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get a little closer. Get closer and burning now. Get it? So yeah, back to what I'm saying about obviously what she was saying. Rashina was actually agreeing with Vanessa, but the problem is she likes him physically, so she's willing to overlook that aspect, right? And overlook that particular problem. And we all get caught up in that particular way, right? But it's probably going to end up coming a problem later on. Or rather, what I would say is, if it is a problem later on, she's willing to stick in it because she has problems dating. And this is probably why she has problems dating, because she's willing to accept what she doesn't need to accept. And he went on to say, I want to see you sweat. Why? again, so because it's not really about, again, it's not promoting that relationship aspect. There's some oddness. Now he started off really well because he started talking about how he's a coach, and both ladies were like, oh my gosh, yeah, you know, they're really involved. Like, Rasheem's got kids, so she's like, okay, and you know, we got you know, Vanessa like, okay, great, you're open with the kids and you want them to win and stuff like that. She was intrigued by it, and then he went down a different lane into the sexual part, and I was like, oh, sir, you done messed up. Okay, you don't mess up. That's why later on, that conversation about threesomes comes up, because they're trying to paint a picture of you that you're a little bit promiscuous, and that's all you really care about.
You need something? Yeah, man, I'm just trying to indulge.
We know that you like it in threes. So going back to the threesome thing, I'm really not interested.
Are you like a more of a territorial, possessive type of person?
Now the conversation is all about threesomes, you know? So now your whole ethos about you is stuck there. You don't want to be in that position, really and truly. You don't want to be in that position. You want to be seen as better off. You want people to view your qualities. You know, if you're dating somebody, you want someone to be able to see that they like you for you and like what you bring to the table. And of course, the sex part is a part of it, but let that not be the first thing that they decipher you by. Let them decipher you by your mind. Let them decipher you by your values. Let them decipher you by your character. Let those things lead up. Those are the things that last long in relationships. Sex can be done with anybody. I'm only be honest with you. Don't let that be the leading aspect. All right? I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Listen, little black book, you know what time it is. You know what time it is.